Hello, and welcome back to the journey so far, where I talk a little bit about how I've kind of grown or how I'm changing in my consulting business. For those who maybe this is your first video watching in this series, my name is Danielle Hauk. I am the lead consultant and founder of my company, Vibrant Systems, which really seeks to build community within an organization and without an organization, and in doing that, return sort of to the story that brought that organization into being in the first place. And this past week, I have started posting and will be posting some recordings of the value integration and exploration workshop webinars that I'm hosting in June. And it was in one of these webinars, because I had my first one this week, that, I realized in talking to one of the gals who attended, who was very sweet, and I was very thankful she stayed on to chat with me for a bit afterwards. I realized that we are much more comfortable marketing ourselves for, re-entering the workforce or for getting a position or getting a promotion. We're much more comfortable marketing ourselves than we are actually rooting into what we care about as individuals, our own values, because that's what the webinars are targeting, right? Is how do we define our own values so we can use that as a compass. But again, so many of us are extrinsically motivated, because rightfully so, it is our jobs outside of ourselves or our communities outside of ourselves that often give us what we need to survive. So I'm not blaming people for caring about being able to market themselves and secure a job that, pays the bills and supports their family. I understand that. But in this, and in understanding where she was coming from, was actually a point of, okay, how do I make it sound better so I can enter the workforce? It really shone on myself, my own inability to market myself. And I'm not saying marketing isn't a valuable tool. And the people who can do it, people who that is their baby, that is their, goal and what they bring to the table, I respect them so much, because it is a skill set I have been trying to learn, and I've realized I'm just not that good at it. And I'm going to explain that a bit, because, I don't want to come across as though I'm diminishing the value of this work. But for myself, for the work that I do with Vibrant Systems, it's very, very difficult for me to narrow down my focus, because my background is very interdisciplinary, and in the, careers I've had before and in the education that I supported these careers with, it was all about that system thinking, holistic view, because we are all interconnected. Something can be happening on this side of the system, but it's going to have an impact down here too. And that's what I was taught. And that's how I've moved forward in my business, because I think this is a really valuable way of thinking to incorporate into my consulting. And it helps me see opportunities that often other people don't. And it helps me support the transformation of my clients into that more holistic, community focused story that I think we're all really going to benefit from. But I can't market that. I can't tell people, especially if they're not already thinking, oh, I need this transformative approach to this project. They're not going to want someone who's going to push new ideas or new values or new priorities. They want someone who already knows how to do that specific work. And it's been a stumbling block for me a little bit, because on one hand, of course, I don't want to compromise my own values. I don't want to compromise, my authenticity or my valuing of diversity and growth and community and health and environment and so on. Again, if you want to check out my list of values, just go to my website, www.vibrantsystems.ca. But I don't want to compromise my values simply so I can market myself and get an income, because I know the clients that I'm going to have that long-standing relationship with are the kind who are already seeking that transformative approach to whatever goals they have. And often, in my experience, those clients are small and rural communities who are seeing things that aren't working anymore. It's First Nations communities who really understand that things are not working anymore and that they are taking ownership over their own development and growth. And I have so much respect for those clients, but I also understand that in some ways they need to be the ones to seek me out, because I can't go up to any one person and be like, "Hey, you see everything you're doing it wrong and we should change that." That's against my nature. And it's very, very difficult, again, for me to market that. And I have some notes here, so forgive me for taking a moment to actually, review what I came to yesterday. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, and this is what I've kind of come to terms with, is the clients who have money to burn on consultants are usually very happy with what they're doing already. And that's not to say that what they're doing is inherently bad, but the shift that needs to happen to be open to the systemic, holistic perspective that I bring to the table needs to start with the client. They don't need to know how to get to the end, because that's where I come in. I am the one who helps bring your story to life. If you want to transform in that story, I can help you do that. But you need to know what it is first that you're wanting to do, what you're wanting to transform. And I say this because it really comes down to the reason why I do not have my consulting rates on my website is because I understand that a lot of the people who really need my services right now, who want this transformative, interdisciplinary, authentic, grounded approach to their priorities and their goals, may not have that money to burn. And I want to be able to work with them still. I want to be able to work with their budgets and with their goals. And all that's to say is this is somewhat of a marketing video to a point, but I don't post my consulting rates on my website because they change. They change based on the project and the client. And, I'm still charging rates that are going to support my well-being and my livelihood. I'm not undercutting myself there, but I do really want to work with my clients to make it as feasible as possible for them to see their goals, because I believe that all those goals are going to lead to that abundance and wealth that really they all deserve, that growth, that financial prosperity. So let's explore together. If you have a project that you're like, I need help getting it off the ground. I have this vision, but I don't know where to go, and I don't have much of a budget to outsource, reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Let's see how together we can make your story a vibrant one, because I really do believe we need this transformation now more than ever. And I really do believe that my role here today is to help make that happen. So again, my name is Danielle Hauk from Vibrant Systems. You can reach out to me on my email, danielle.vibrantsystems@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, www.vibrantsystems.ca, and get in touch with me another way. You can take a look at all my skill set, my services that I offer. Maybe one of the services I offer is a good fit for you already, in which case that's great. But if you don't see one, I assure you that, I'm not putting everything up there. I'm trying to find that niche. So if you're not sure if I can help you, just reach out, ask, let's have a conversation, let's meet for a bit and talk about it. Because for me, the marketing is not the path. The relationships are. And I want to build a relationship with my clients that's grounded on that authentic understanding and rapport. And that's not something you're going to get through my website. That's something you're going to get by reaching out and figuring out if I am the right fit for you. So thank you for taking the time to view this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day.